I am someone who overthinks everything. I'm talking about being the queen of pros and cons lists. I'm talking about having so many scenarios ran in my head during the day that they start to infiltrate my dreams at night, right? And oftentimes, allowing the information that I identify as options, the research, the findings, to live for days on end without taking any real action. And then you add tools like ChatGPT, and they are just brand spanking new, shiny, pretty, exciting ways for overthinkers like myself to find more ways to stay distracted, right? To find more ways to research yourself silly. And here's the thing about overthinking: our brains are wired to overanalyze. It's just how we operate. But without self control, self leadership, this tendency to overthink often leads to sabotage. It gets in the way. It's not helpful, it's hindering, right? And when we get stuck in the weeds of the details, we delay action. We start doubting ourselves. We start doubting our judgment, our desires, our intuition. And at the end of the day, all that overthinking not only prevents us from moving forward, but it actively keeps us making fear-based decisions. And I don't know about you, but I got tired of getting stuck in my own head. And I haven't perfected this, but I have come to a level of awareness that I can see when it's happening and been able to equip myself with the right tools and systems and resources to overcome them. Because I know that I needed to break the cycle of overthinking so that I can get focused and I can produce meaningful results. But you can't do that without meaningful action, right? Because results don't come from planning. I wish I'd be crushing life right now if that was the case. They come from focused, unpretty, imperfect, agile action. So, over the course of a few short videos, I want to share with you just 5 steps that help me to go from endlessly thinking about my goals to actively pursuing them. And if you like this content, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And if you're interested in knowing more about how I can help you, click the link below in the resource or the description to get the links mentioned. Let's go. I am certain that you can relate to this scenario, right? You have a decision to make for your kids or your business. Let's say you have to find a new daycare, or you're deciding on a new offer to bring to market. And you start gathering information to make the decision because that's an obvious next step. And you think through all the options. You make the pros and cons lists, right? You gather opinions from Reddit. Oh my God, me and Reddit. Like, Reddit is such a distraction for me. You look at social media, you talk to friends and family. All of this seems like it makes sense. But being the overthinkers that we are, we take it too far, right? We do the absolute most. Let me show you how I do the absolute most. I am currently looking into hotels for a trip we're about to take. And let me tell you how much of an overthinker I am, right? When I make a decision about a hotel that I want to book, I am reading the Priceline reviews, and then I go to Google reviews because I know people can buy Priceline reviews. And then from there, I go and look it up on YouTube because I want to see the personal videos that people are doing. And then I'm going to read the comments because I want to see what people who found this video because of the algorithm knew that they've been there before. What are they saying? It's a whole process, right? That's what I mean when I say doing the most. I am doing the most with overthinking and over researching a lot of times. And what happens when we do this is soon you're buried in details and all the possibilities, and you keep seeking more data points, more perspectives, wanting to cover every single angle before you make your mind up. And then time passes, days or weeks go by, and you're stuck still evaluating, right? Meanwhile, your decision remains unmade and the action is on hold. And maybe you missed the deadline, or maybe you managed to talk yourself out of even doing it to begin with because by now you're tired of thinking. You don't even want to think about it anymore. And in all this overthinking, we start to seek excessive amounts of data points to feel certain, right? To feel comforted by data. You start to get lost in the details. You start to endlessly scenario plan, right? Thinking that that's going to reduce the risk. You start to then doubt yourself, and that starts to break down your confidence in the original decision that you had or made, right? Maybe some regret starts to seep in there. And then you start to go through that decision fatigue. I know anytime I have to make decisions where I'm like truly doing the most, I often avoid it because I'm so tired. And then uncertainty comes in, and then you delay the action and you miss the opportunity. Knowing how to create a bias for action is a powerful way to get through all of this madness. That is what stopped me from, or act more as a fail safe, so that whenever I was going through these patterns of overthinking, I knew that I was going to get stuck. I knew my tendency. So I created a bias for action to just make a decision and be okay with whatever happens. I had to start to realize that the goal isn't about trying to avoid this pattern altogether, because it's a lot of times very helpful, right? But we want to learn how to gather enough information to make a sound decision without falling into this rabbit hole, without delaying our results, and ultimately disrupting our confidence, right? I'll share strategies in the next coming videos soon about how to help you to find a sweet spot there. But first, think about why you overthink in the first place. There are so many root causes of overthinking. I find that mine often comes from two places: a lack of a clear vision and misaligned action. But maybe for you, it's fear and perfectionism. Maybe you're obsessing over making the perfect choice and you're afraid of making the wrong choice. And that leads you to agonize endlessly over options that you have available to you. Or maybe the perfectionism has you trying to optimize every little detail before you move forward because you think it says something about you if it's not perfect, right? Both of these mindsets are really crippling. But the important truth here that I want you to hear is that there is no perfect choice, right? The right choice is the one that aligns to your goals and your values, the overarching priority. That's the right choice, the one that you can take action from immediately. Learn what you need to learn so that you can improve and optimize and perfect as you go, but it keeps you in forward motion. And my advice here is to really determine your key decision criteria. You want to make sure that you're gathering enough data to assess whatever the next step should be, and then make an informed decision, make an informed choice within a determined timeline, and try not to lean into that absolute certainty, right? Leave room and margin for error. I have a personal rule, and this is the result of the overthinking tendencies that I have. I have a personal rule that if I have to make a decision about something, any action, any decision, all I need is 80% enough information to move forward. That's it. Overthinking is so tempting. It's very tempting, and it's easy as a solopreneur and a parent when you have constant and conflicting and competing strategies and options about how to reach your goals and how to do it in a way that feels good for you. Our brains love this. It loves analyzing all the things. And a lot of times, at least for me, it would feel productive and safe. And I find that I could research myself silly and convince myself that I actually accomplished something, right? But too often, when I really sat down at the end of the day or the week, I would see that all of that really went nowhere. And I was just in this indecisive inaction pattern, constantly avoiding taking the next step because of my fear. That's an opportunity for courage to insert itself, right? So you have to be aware of your tendencies and give yourself the awareness so that you can have a way and a system to overcome that pattern. In the next video, we're going to talk about what to do to help you to navigate that a little more successfully. But if you want to go deeper, on your productivity, your time management, your goal setting, I invite you to join me inside the Profitable Productivity Plan. That link is linked below in the description box. Thank you so much for listening to today's video. I'll see you for step 2, same time next week. Bye.